available on that charger, let us know, and we're coming from here.
They're out in the open, but they operate in secrecy. They have more power than ever before. If you speak out, it's guaranteed you will be retaliated against. Your career will be in jeopardy, and your fear for your life, honestly.
Los Angeles, California has been plagued with gang violence for decades. It's even been called the gang capital of America. But the gangs are not just on the streets. Through lawsuits and reports, we're learning that there are gangs of officers within the LA Sheriff's Department, one of the largest law enforcement agencies in the U.S.
Who do they answer to?
They only answer to each other. Everything they do is for the betterment of the gang.
Like homegrown groups with internal deputies, they pick a tattoo that they like, they all get tattooed. It's exclusive, it's also secret. And as a result, they form sort of a shadow government sometimes.
These claims are not new. These groups have existed in the Sheriff's Department for at least 50 years. The department calls them cliques or subgroups and argues that they're social in nature, like a fraternity, but they're widely known as deputy gangs.
A deputy gang is a group of law enforcement officers who band together like a traditional street gang under a common symbol, a gang tattoo, often very menacing, very violent.
The Jump Out Boys, for example, that's a tattoo of a skull holding a revolver. And for each kill, a bullet and smoke is added to the chamber of the revolver.
And what are the kinds of things that you have to do to become a member?
You have to break the rules, really.
Which often means racially profiling people, having unconstitutional arrests, valorizing excessive use of force, shooting people, but it's done in the name of law enforcement, where the group members think they are the best, most hardworking, effective law enforcement officers in the county. I believe that 85% of the department is not affiliated with the deputy gangs, but they're incredibly influential.
Since the 1970s, at least 18 deputy gangs have existed in the Sheriff's Department, some of which are still active.
Probably the most reported on is the banditos or the executioners, but there are new ones that are created probably every year, I would say.
They seem to cluster around areas of Los Angeles where there are lots of people of color, usually low income. There are no deputy gangs in Malibu, you know.
One deputy said in a deposition, a group called the Executioners would celebrate at bars after a deputy shot someone.
Anthony Vargas' shooting is not the only case alleging the involvement of LA deputy gangs.
How about this latest shooting of Andres Guardado?
Others have also gotten coverage.
Was that done by an inked member or a prospect of the Executioners?
Prospects.
In lawsuits, deputies have alleged that those who want to join a gang often engage in aggressive policing.
There's been a history of violent gangs in the sheriff's office.
According to a report by Loyola Law School, sheriff stations with active gangs have the highest rates of deputy-involved shootings. And more than 80% of those shot were Black or Latino.
Good morning. My name is Stephanie Luna, and I am the aunt of Anthony Vargas, who was murdered in August of 2018. I'm standing alongside a lot of grieving families that have experienced the exact same violence from the same sheriff's department. This is going to continue to happen if we don't step up now and put something in place. Love you, Anthony. Thank you, guys.
Say his name! Anthony Vargas! Say his name! Anthony Vargas! Say his name! Anthony Vargas!
On August 12, 2018, a woman called 911 to say that her boyfriend's watch had been stolen at gunpoint. After Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies arrived, they eventually came across 21-year-old Anthony Vargas. When he saw the sheriff's car, Anthony ran, but he tripped and fell. The deputies chased him down, and they say a fight ensued. They claimed Anthony had a gun and shot him 13 times. 10 times in the back, once in the arm and twice in the head.
I got the call. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. We all got there. We kept asking the sheriff, can you tell us if this is him? We stood there from 3 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When they let me go and identify him, I was only able to see maybe a little bit lower than his eyebrow to his chin. And it was like just this little tiny piece. And once I seen that, I screamed and I fell to the floor. Say, well, why did your kid run? In our community, when there's a sheriff that's out there at that late of a time, there's a fear of being shot. So anybody is going to run from them.
A year and a half after Anthony was killed, the LA District Attorney released an investigation into his death. It found that there were no fingerprints on the gun, and DNA testing was inconclusive. The burglary victim said Anthony was not the person who stole his watch. Still, the report concluded that the deputies acted in self-defense. That's not what Anthony's family believes. They say the sheriff's deputies who shot him, Jonathan Rojas and Nicholas Perez, used excessive deadly force. They filed a lawsuit after his death, alleging the deputies were members or prospects of the Banditos.
Who are the Banditos?
It's a gang within the East LA Sheriff's Department. These are people that are working as detectives, as deputies in our communities.
Are you a Banditos gang member?
No, I am not.
In depositions, the deputies who shot Anthony denied that they're associated with the group.
The shooting of Anthony Vargas was not in order to earn your stripes with the Banditos gang. Is that true?
Correct. That's not why I shot.
These people are untouchable. It's not about human life. They want exactly what every gang member wants, the power and control.